welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We're here ready to head back into Battle World. As always, Kills with me, Eric, and of course, Coriander. Guys, we're heading back to the 80s, and you know that's never a bad thing. Never, ever.
True.
This is going to be interesting. This is going to be a good one. For you guys that are in the chat, welcome. We're glad that you guys decided to join us for an 80s fantasy film night. Let's see. We've got Wayne can't make it, but jumped in. Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks for jumping in. We appreciate that. Paula, what's up, Paula? Good to see you. We got Julie in the house, of course. Julie's ride or die. That's all right. It's all right. Brian, what's going on? Good to see you. We got Val. The general is in the chat. All right. We got Gene. Hey, Gene. How's it going? And we got Melissa as well saying, hey, hope you're doing well too, Melissa. All right. Very, very cool. So let's do this, guys. I mean, we haven't done something like this since we did our episode on Conan. You know, so it's been a while since we went to the 80s, adventure fantasy film. So this will be fun getting back to it. So let's get official. Eric, we'll start with you. Who is coming into Battle World in corner number 1?
Okay, well, love can make a man do crazy things, even if it is love at first sight. And when someone's hatred and jealousy tries to keep the two apart, including sending one person to another island, one shouldn't take that man's determination for granted. Because, a normal man, they just might give up and move on. However, tonight's combatant does just the opposite. He'll risk life and limb for his lady and even more. Even if that more concerns taming a wild Pegasus, beheading the mythical Medusa, and sending the Titan known as the Kraken to the bottom of the sea permanently. And sure, a little help from the gods never hurt. Owl by his side, we have a hero so important that a constellation was named after him. He's the man known as Perseus, and he's representing 1981's Clash of the Titans.
All right. Okay. Coriander, how about you? Who do we have in corner number 2?
Okay, so welcome to a time of pure innocent peace and, of course, unicorns. Be careful of what goblins plan to do to those beautiful creatures, or else the world will fall into a vast winter. Princess Lily didn't heed Jack's warning, and now the Lord of Darkness wants eternal night so he can rule. Time to armor up, get a sword, a banned forest elf named Gump, Fairy Una, and some dwarfs, and get to the castle to save the princess, the unicorn, and the light of the world. Swords, magic, hate versus love, light versus darkness. Here's Jack and Lily and director Ridley Scott's Legend.
All right. Okay. Yeah, man. Ridley can do anything, Kill. Let's get the Kill's commentary. What do you think of these? It's been a long time since we watched this stuff as kids.
Yeah, this is bringing back childhood here. But you know what? No matter how you slice it, both of these movies, for the time that they came out, were really special effects masterpieces of the time that they came out, mind you. And some great performances by young, Tom Cruise and of course Tim Curry, and just Burgess Meredith. Shouts out to him. Mickey from Rocky. But this is going to be a good one, man. Let's get the swords and shields up, man.
Yeah.
There you go, man. So listen, these two films, there's a lot of parallels, as we always have in these matchups, and I can't wait to see how it plays out category by category. So for you guys in the chat, I hear something, Kill. I hear something, and it could be winged creatures, it could be titans, it could be elves, it could be a thousand different things.
Is it hoof feet?
It could be, man. So for you guys in the chat, for you guys watching the replays, sit back, relax. Here we go. Clash of the Titans versus Legend. You know what time it is.
Yeah? You don't really mean to eat me, do you, ma'am?
Oh, indeed I do!
There it is, man. There it is. All right,
Nice.
man. Very, very cool. We got Scott in the chat too, saying I haven't watched either of these films in decades. There you go.
Mm.
Well, this gives
Yeah.
you a reason to check it out. Which is why we're happy to do this as a matchup and do something a little bit different. But yeah, it's definitely a movie that when we were kids, you know, these were just big movies, and it was
Yeah.
great to kind of reacquaint with them again. So, all right, you guys know how we do this. We're gonna go category by category. We're gonna give a point to the film that we think should win that particular category, and not based on our preference. And for you guys in the chat, let us know what you think as well. If you choose to do a super chat, we will make sure we get to your comment and or question, and you can also put points to the film of your choice. Okay, so let's get the party started. Eric,
Sure.
as always, we're going to start with our first category. Our first category is going to be the poster. The poster. We've got the posters for Clash of the Titans, and we also have the poster for Legend. Who gets the point and why?
Oh, they're so good. They're so
They are.
80s. And
They are.
flipping a coin, I'm going to say Legend. And the
Mhm.
reason why is I love how bright and pretty Clash looks, but I think the
Mhm.
darkness fits more with the theme of Legend. And I like how you can, because you got darkness, or Tim Curry, I think he's called the Lord of Darkness. Right there you see his chest and everything in red, but you have to look to see his face in the darkness. And I think
Yes.
that going from the color to the black really pops. And then I really like how he's holding, Lily and Jack, basically in the palm of his hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As maybe a metaphor. And then just
Mhm.
the white font at the bottom. I think it really, really looks good.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Hey, Jerry, we got Jerry in the chat and Super
Hey.
Tenor. All right. Good to see you guys. Kill, how about you?
I like them both, but I gotta go with Legend. The Lord of Darkness right there. He's the big draw. He
Mhm.
that makeup, Tim Curry. I'm sorry, Tom who is in there? I don't know who Tom Cruise is. I don't
Nobody
know.
did back then.
Tim Curry, every scene he's in, he just carries it. And this poster is just perfect. They got him front and center. And just like Eric said, you really have to look to see him. And it's just menacing, and you just want to know more. So yeah.
Mhm. All right. Very cool. Coriander, how about you?
I'm going to make my answer short and sweet, and Legend gets my vote.
Okay. All right. For me, I think both of these are really awesome posters for a little bit of different reasoning. But you said it right in the beginning, Eric. These are great examples of the 80s posters. You know what I mean? Like just the artistry, the
Mhm.
colors, the awesome fonts they used to have. I mean, this Clash of the Titans, that font alone is just badass, and
Mhm.
it kind of evokes the whole idea of the adventure. You know what I'm saying? That being said, I have to give the point to Legend. And the reason why is because this is one of those posters that probably it's a good one of the few examples I can think of where the poster actually kind of dominated my memory even more than the movie. Like,
Mm.
it had been a long time since I had seen it before this rewatch, but that poster has always been one of my favorites of any poster in any type of movie. And it just looks really amazing. Just the artistry of it and the idea of having darkness right in the center. It's just amazing. It truly is. This is one of those ones that I definitely need to get
Mhm.
for my collection. So it's no doubt about that at all. All right. Very, very cool. Yeah, Scott, you definitely should watch these again. Seriously. Yeah. Tim Curry was amazing. Both of these movies, just so much talent. Really, really is. No doubt.
Mhm.
And he's saying both are great posters. Clash kind of reminds me of old school metal album covers. That's a good point. Yeah. Saying Legend is the cooler poster. Well said. Well said. All right. Next up, we're going to go to the tagline. the tagline. Okay, so Eric, the tagline we've got for Clash of the Titans: "You will feel the power, live the adventure, and experience the fantastic." Okay, that'll be the tagline for Clash of the Titans, and for Legend, and this one, this is a long one. Kill's gonna love this one.
Oh,
Oh,
great.
So, but it's cool. All right, hold on. The tagline that we that we have for Legend, it is hold on. Okay, no good without evil, no love without hate, no innocence without lust. I am darkness. There we go. All right, which tagline gets the point?
That's not as long as I was expecting it to be, but I do like it, but I think Clash of the Titans helps sell the product a lot more, especially with that title, Clash of the Titans. I think it's kind of a perfect mixture of tagline and title of a movie.
All right, very cool. Kill, how about you?
Can you read the Clash of the Titans one again?
Yeah, you will feel the power, live the adventure, experience the fantastic.
I'm gonna have to go with Legend because both
Wow.
of these are kind of long, but I love how the Legend one ends with I am the night.
I am darkness.
I am darkness. It's just something about the way that flows
It's
and all
sinister.
the it's sinister, and plus it lays down like all of the, I guess, the sins that he's going to be
Mhm.
tempting Lily with, lust, yada yada, this and that. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Legend.
Okay, all right. And real quick too, in the chat, we got Jamie's in the chat. Hey, Jamie,
Hi, Jamie.
good to see you.
Hello.
Thanks for jumping in. We appreciate that. And also Danielle coming in.
Hey.
She's going with Legend. Okay, Coriander, how about you? Which tagline you gonna go with?
I'm definitely going with Legend also.
Okay, wow. For me, I think both of these are really good,
Mhm.
and they both fit the movie, but I think Clash of the Titans fits better.
What?
Because when you think of well, kind of like what Eric
There we
said.
go.
Eric said with the poster, just all it screams adventure. The name is a fantastic name. I've always loved that title. Like even when I was a little kid and didn't know the movie, that title always stuck in my mind. But it totally gives you that whole idea of the adventure fantasy vibe. You will experience the fantastic. It's like that's that's
Mhm.
pretty badass, man.
Yeah.
I love Legends as well, no doubt. But I just think the tagline for Clash kind of pulls me in a little bit more, just a little bit more. Okay, all right. Let's go to our next category, Eric. We're going to start with the opening of the movie, which of course is the first couple of minutes, could be up to 15 minutes or so. What do you think?
Both are very different, but both are very good in their own rights. I'm going to go with the less is more opening. I'm going to go with Legend. I love me some destruction. You know what I mean? When Clash of the Titans had a really good destruction scene, but I'm also a sucker for all that dark evil shit, and it really is literally just Tim Curry talking to one of his goblins, but he's setting the mood. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you can see his size. His eyes are and his fingernails are glowing. He's got one of his goblins. He's basically saying the plot of the movie. This is what you got to do. He looks like he's in Mount Doom. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just really really cool, and that's what's giving it to me. It's just how less is more and how just dark it is.
All right. Kill, how about you?
This is the first easy street for me. I love exposition, but a entire civilization got wiped out in the first 15 minutes. I look,
Put some
I'm
respect
sorry.
on the dead.
I'm sorry, man. I'm watching them both, and I'm kind of, like Eric said, I agree. Tim Curry, amazing.
Mhm.
Other than him, I'm seeing Lily walk through the forest and meet up with people in their huts and say, "Oh, I love this place. You poor people live well." Yada yada. Lily's just being an ass, or whatever. I'm gonna get back to her. But on the other side, you got like an emperor that's like gonna kill his daughter and grandson. It's like, whoa. And then petty gods are like, not on my watch, and just every brick, bring it down. I'm sorry, I gotta go Clash on this.
Zeus was pissed off.
Zeus was like, hey, I want every brick. Every single brick of this civilization.
He's like, don't you mess up this revenge.
And don't miss a brick. I'm gonna count them. I want every brick.
All right. Coriander, how about you?
Oh goodness. I enjoyed both of these openings, but I think I have to go with creep factor and, because I don't get creeped out now, but I remember movies when I was a kid that creeped me out. And it might not be a civilization getting wiped out, but it was those damn goblins and darkness, Lord Darkness that, I was just like, wow, this movie's like crazy. And it right from the beginning, like I said, I got the creeps. So I got to go with Legend.
Wow. All right. Well, for me, this, I mean, don't get me wrong. Both openings are good in their own right, but they're doing different things, like you guys said. But for me, it's a huge difference between the setup of the story with, and it's kind of like that opening where things are being explained, but you're not necessarily seeing a lot, versus, like Kill said, the action, it starts right off. It's like, what is going on? It's like, families not sticking together. We got gods that are basically about to riot. So I got to go with Clash of the Titans on this. It's just, it's right from the beginning. You kind of feel the weight of bad decisions and, when power is turned against you, right off the bat. So I'm going to go with Clash of the Titans on this. Okay. Real quick too, in the chat, we got Jamie saying that she loves both of these movies. She says, I love both of these movies with all my heart. Well, Jamie, that's good to hear, because, in doing movies like this, 80s and fantasy films, it's good to hear that other people like it too. It really is. Paula going with Legend. Danielle saying the opening is Clash of the Titans, just like that movie more. All right. Okay. Let's see. And I think I'm caught up there. Okay, let's go to our next category. Next category is going to be the music. The score. Eric, who gets the point? We've got Tangerine Dream and we've got the London Symphony Orchestra.
It's true. It makes it tougher when you put it that way. But you know what? I'm gonna say, like I always say, it's also how it's used in the movie, and they're both used really, really well. This is another coin toss for me. I'm gonna go Legend just because I think it's a better mix of action and and the tense moments, and then like the fantastical parts. Of a fantasy movie. I just like that. That's when that piece of music when we first see the unicorns. That's memorable and magical, for a lack of a better term, to me, than probably any of the happy-go-lucky type of music we get in Clash. So this was very tough, but I'm gonna go with Legend.
Okay, all right, Kill. How about you?
This is a tough one, but I kind of think back to certain scenes and so forth. And when I was a kid, the Medusa scene in Clash scared the hell out of me, and I have memorized the subtle music that's in there from when Perseus and his platoon are going into the building and so forth. It's haunting. So I got to go with Clash on this one. No disrespect to Tangerine Dream, but it's just too many great memories of the score from Clash on this one.
All right. Okay. Coriander, how about you?
So I really, it sucks when you can't really remember like the music, but you do remember scenes and sometimes the music is associated with it if you.
Hmm.
So for me, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Legend also because yeah, there was just some times that it was so good and it just fit it so
Yeah.
well. So yeah.
All right. This is a challenging one for sure, because I think the music is good in both movies. It's different types of music, okay, and I'm a huge fan of Tangerine Dream. Huge. I mean, Dream and Firestarter. That was
Hmm.
absolutely amazing music. I can still hear it right now, and it was great in Legend. But I got to give this point to Clash, and I'm gonna tell you why. This is the definition of adventure. This is the definition of fantasy and mythological legend and lore. It's I mean, even in the intro, I couldn't put enough in the intro because obviously we can't, with copyrights. But that scene when he
Hmm.
holds up Medusa's head, the whole Medusa scene alone, and that's not even all of it, but just the horns and the majesty. Like this is, and I'm a huge fan of things like that, mythology, and this is a great example of how the music can really just go hand in hand and accentuate all of those things. Like every time we would see certain, famous legends, Pegasus, the River Styx, Medusa, the Kraken, each time, you had that music kick in, and it was like, wow, it was bringing me back, no doubt. So I definitely got to edge it to Clash, but I absolutely thought Tangerine Dream did a fantastic job in Legend.
Hmm.
Fantastic job. So, all right. Let's see. Paul is going with Legend, and Super Tenor also going with Legend. And Jamie saying Legend score rules, but there are two different scores. That is true. Now and actually that's a good thing to mention, Jamie. So we're talking about the theatrical, which is the Tangerine Dream version.
Hmm.
So which is from what I understand, because I haven't seen them in so long, which is a lot different than the director's cut.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ridley loves doing multiple, cuts, or the studios
Hmm.
always love to do that to Ridley Scott movies. Whether
Yeah.
it's
How
Alien
many
or
cuts are
Blade
there
Runner.
of Blade Runner? Like
Blade
four or
Runner has
five?
like yeah, at
No,
least
it's more
five.
than that.
It's
It's
more
Really?
like
like
seven, isn't it?
6 or 7.
Jeez.
Yes, and I've got them all, baby.
Me
Of course you
too.
do.
All right, let's go to let's go to our next category. Uh the story. The story, Eric. Which movie gets the point for the story itself?
I like them both, but I'm going to give it to Clash, and here's why. My daughter sat and watched Legend with me, and she really
Hmm.
liked it. But she
Hmm.
kind of helped explain it to me. Um, Legend is basically like the Legend of Zelda. She's a Nintendo kid. It's basically the Legend of Zelda. Forest kid goes and saves a princess, defeats big bad guy with help from elves and mystical creatures.
Yeah.
Clash of
Yeah.
the Titans. It's hard to beat Greek mythology, man,
Yeah.
against anything. So, you
Hmm.
know, no disrespect to Link and Zelda and all that stuff, but Greek mythology is Greek mythology, dude. We're going Clash.
All right. Okay. Kill. How about you?
Look, this is light work here. Clash of the Titans has this a supreme story. No
Hmm.
disrespect to Legend or
Right.
this version of Legend. There really was no story.
Hmm.
I'm evil, kill the
What?
unicorns. Let me finish. I'm evil, kill unicorns so I can walk the earth. All right, cool. This kid lives
Who
in the
wants to
forest.
rule?
This kid lives in the forest. He likes this girl who's from a rich family. He's poor. Let's get it popping. Clash,
Damn.
I love it.
Clash. My mama and me were tossed in the ocean. Gods are bickering with one another. Zeus is doing his late night creeps and having all the kids. Like the Kraken is chilling and just being
Calibus.
used as a loaded weapon. Calibus is like, yo, I'm gonna get revenge. Pegasus is like, I'm the last of the flying horses. Come on. I'm sorry. And Eric said it best. Greek mythology. I mean, you look, Greek, Norse, Egyptian.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. If
I
you
had
go
Mm.
if you go against that, you're gonna lose. Yeah,
I
That's
want
an
to
interesting
say
point.
we've done this for over 50 episodes. I think that's Kill's best description of the story category that we've ever had.
Yeah, that was the Cliff Notes version.
Thank you.
I'm evil, kill unicorns, I'll rule the world.
I mean,
All right,
It's more to it than that. Good God.
okay.
Corey. All right, Coriander, who are you going to give the point to for story? The actual story.
I
How
get
good of a
it.
story?
I get it. And I love the story of Legend. Love it. But obviously, I'm going to give the point to Clash. So, yeah.
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 All right.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, this
That's the
look.
nerve.
Let me just say this too, and look, both of these movies are great. They have
Mhm.
so many parallels. You know, a hero, a princess in trouble, a villain,
It's a
magic,
love. They're both
all of
love
it.
stories. I get it. But for some
Yeah.
reason, can I just say that Legend is just, for me, more of a love story?
Okay. Well,
But go
yeah,
ahead.
I can see that. Yeah. And I think Clash is more of an adventure story. You know, so I think, there's parallels, but anyways, let me just say, I'm giving the point to Clash. It's not even close. Now of course, we're talking about the theatrical cut of Legend, right? The director's cut has a lot more meat to the bone. But even with that said, Kill said it as well as anyone. There's so much going on with Clash of the Titans. There's so many different layers and sensibilities. You got so many people invested in this story. You know, you got the gods and they're kind of against each other. You got the children of different gods that are going against each other. You've got, betrayals. You've got the
Mechanical
the quest.
owls.
Mechanical owls, bro. Who does that? Who can do that? So
Hephaestus can do that.
Hephaestus kid, she's like, you're gonna make this. I'm not giving away my owl. But anyways, I'm playing around. But seriously, I think Clash just has so much story, and interestingly enough, with all that being said, you'd think it'd be unbalanced, but it's not. Like, you can follow this movie very easily, because I did as a kid and I'm still enjoying it. Yeah. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Now, Jamie said, although I love fairy tales and love all the references in Legend, I have to go with Clash for being way more fun. But Legend does have a story. Fight me. Oh, it does. It definitely does. Yeah. No doubt.
Right?
No doubt. Super Tender is going with Legend. Paul is going with Legend. Okay. All right. Let's go to our next category, the characters. Okay, so which film would you give the point to for characters excluding our leads? So we're not counting Perseus and Andromeda. We're not counting Jack and Lily. Okay, Eric. So who gets the point for characters?
This is easy for me. I'm going Legend. I think they keep my attention more. Like, other than Burgess Meredith, and I guess if you want to count the monsters like Medusa and even the Kraken, they're just kind of there for me. Now, granted, this is my first time ever watching Clash, so they don't really have, that pedestal that a lot of people put, this movie on. In Legend, we have so much. Well, first off, Tim Curry. We got his little goblin minion Bix. You know what I mean? I like Gump. A lot of people hate Gump. I got a soft spot for Gump. You know what I mean? And the two little elves, they're funny. I like Una. I like how she's after Jack, but she can't give away her secret that she can grow. I think there's just much more to that group of characters than there are in Clash for me. More personality, I guess you would say.
Okay. All right. And real quick too, in the chat, we got Sarah's in the house. What's up, Sarah? Thank you for coming here. We appreciate that. All right. Very cool. And she is she comes in and she goes right to work. She says we're at 20 likes. Thanks, Sarah. We appreciate that. Seriously. Even though we're doing 80s fantasy, we appreciate you coming in. Kill, how about you?
You know what? This is an interesting one. This is Clash, to me, and I kind of agree with what Eric said. Burgess Meredith, I love him as an actor, but his character really didn't do too much for me. It's mainly watching the gods bicker, mainly Zeus bicker with the other gods, and but with that being said, it's all of those gods and Calibus and maybe the monsters, and then Tim Curry.
Mhm.
Tim Curry alone. I hate Gump. I could give two
knew it.
craps about any of his minions. But every scene, Tim Curry, I'm sorry, the Lord of Darkness is my favorite character in this movie. And every time he's on the screen, it's just mesmerizing. You know, just for me, really just admiring all of the CG that was done. You know, not CG, but practical effects that were done, and just just seeing Tim do his thing and just chew up scenery in a good way. And just really enjoy the character and revel in the evilness of this character. So I'm not giving it to Legend. I'm giving it to Tim Curry.
Wow. Okay. All right, Coriander, how about you?
I mean, I can't believe you guys didn't friggin' mention the owl. He's like one of my
Bubo.
favorite characters. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
every time Bubo was on the screen, her heart melted. It was great.
But I'm still, Eric, you said it pretty damn good. The characters in Legend they're great. And like I said, they're friggin' couple of them creeped me out. And that goblin looked so slimy and wet and ew. And yeah, man. And yeah, so, and Tim Curry, I mean, I love him anyway. He was Pennywise. He's Lord Darkness. I mean, yeah, he's awesome. So
both of those movies, he's in the movie for maybe a total 10, 15 minutes. And he sticks with you. He's hardly in both movies.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. He makes his presence known. You know, it's like Anthony Hopkins in Silence. You know, Lecter only had like 17 minutes of screen time, but it felt like he had like 3 times that, you know. And Tim Curry is of that same ilk, you know, so much charisma and ability. To me, this is kind of close in a way, a little bit, because I really enjoyed, you know, some characters from both films, and shout out to Calibus, because played by Neil McCarthy, because listen, man, every time he spoke, I was down. I was like, man, he has a charisma to him. Like when he's, you know, like some actors when they speak, they really draw you in, you know, like a Tim Curry, you know. And that's how he was. Calibos was really interesting. And as soon as I saw it, because I hadn't watched this old OG Clash for probably at least 5 years or so. So it'd been a little while. I mean, I know it well, but it'd been a little while. And as soon as Calibos came on and he's trying to woo Andromeda, and so I'm like, he's all right. He's all right. You know, he's kind of like that you know, that lower level villain, so to speak, but he was so dastardly. He was just dastardly. So I really appreciate him. Burgess Meredith, you guys know, Rocky's my favorite, you know, movie character of all time. And Burgess Meredith is a big part of why. That being said, you guys are right. I mean, we're talking about Tim Curry and one of the roles that was just so amazing. And I agree. He just outbalances just everything. Gump was all right. And I didn't hate him. He had a couple good moments, and Una was pretty cool. The dwarves, you know, they were all right, but it's really about Meg Mucklebones was funny. Like, you know, as you know, that sea hag, she was pretty cool. But it's got to be Tim Curry. And at the end of the day, he is the Lord of Darkness, so I'm going with Legend. All right.
And I mean, you can't beat, right? He looks good in fishnets and with hoofed feet and hairy legs. I mean, come on.
All right, there we go. Jamie saying she's going with Legend for characters. They live in my memories rent free. The goblins, the elf, the little fairy, darkness. I love them. All right. Danielle's going with Legend for the characters. Paula's holding the torch for Legend on each category. All right. We got Frank in the house. What's up, Frank? Good to see you, man. Frank, you probably or hopefully can appreciate we're doing call back to the 80s fantasy, adventure fantasy, man. Let's see who else. And Frank saying Tim Curry is absolutely scary as darkness. No doubt at all. No doubt at all. Okay, next category. This is a fun conversation, man. I'm having fun with this. The bigger threats, Eric. The bigger threats, movie versus movie. You're the character, whether it be Jack or Perseus. Bigger threats. Who gets the point?
Oh, it's Clash of the Titans is a bigger threat. You know, Tim Curry's a big giant devil man, but he sends his minions to do the work. And as you can tell, that pig guy, and then the other guy that got taken down into the grave by the mummy. Well, obviously they didn't do very good. However, Perseus is dealing with gods. Okay, end of story. They can do whatever they want. You know what I mean?
They take a statue and just, sit you up or lay you down.
Yeah.
It's over.
All Zeus has to do is just, on a bad day, he just and you're done.
All right. Kill. How about you?
Come on. Look, okay. Let's not even go to the gods. Calibus. Right. Calibus is a threat.
Medusa, yeah.
Medusa. And then if you want to go to the gods, you have a mother who is scorned because you killed her. Well, you maimed her son and things of that nature.
She's holding a grudge.
Oh, she's holding a
Shout
real
out to Maggie
big
Smith,
grudge.
man. I cheered like a little kid when I saw Maggie Smith on screen, man. I was so happy.
Yeah.
Yes, and Maggie Smith. Yep.
Yeah, and then on top of that, anytime like Zeus gets upset, he just says, "Hey, Poseidon, you my brother. Go on down, unlock the Titan, the Kraken, and just kind of let your hair flow in the water." And he's just down there like,
let your hair flow.
And the Kraken just comes out and just like, all right, it's showtime. I mean, come on, guys. No disrespect to the Lord of Darkness, but it's just too many threats on Clash.
Hey, that was good, man. I was seeing that scene play in my mind. You're like, let your hair flow in the water. The Kraken's like, it's dinner time.
Yep.
All right. Coriander, how about you?
I mean, yeah, obviously the bigger threat is Clash. So
all right. Okay. Yeah, man. I mean, and Kill, you're right. Like, we're not even just talking about the gods, but the idea, like, shout out to Harry Hamlin too, who obviously doesn't get any credit. But the scene with Medusa, you could see the fear on his face. He did a great job with the acting, because that's a scene where it's not a lot of action. It's all the tension because he can't look at her. He's trying to figure it out on the fly. And just the look on his face, man, like just watching the movie. And then when I did the intro and I'm paying extra attention, like he had fear all over his face. And when he comes out of the temple and he raises her head, it's kind of like, yeah, man, I did it. I got through it. So yeah, I think the bigger threats has to go to Clash. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Okay. All right. Scott saying he's going to go with Clash. They had the bigger threats. Danielle saying Clash for threats. It's just more gritty in its realism. Legend feels like a story, fantasy every step of the way. So not a true threat. All right. We got Kay in the chat. What's up? Good to see you. Let's see. Frank saying the bigger threats is Clash of the Titans. Medusa. End of story. There you go. Jamie saying Clash of the Titans. They are Titans. Can't beat that. All right.
Yeah, the Kraken showed that within the first 10 minutes.
Right. They let you know what was up right from the beginning. Paul is going with Tim Curry. There you go. All right. Next category, the imagination factor. The imagination factor. Eric, when you think about imagination, which of these movies gets the point for having more of it?
Again, I gotta go with Greek mythology and Clash. There's a lot of imagination and fantasy and legend, but in my opinion, I think with Clash, there's just much more, just with the much more use of the gods and what they can do. What Perseus, his weapons, what they can do to help him complete his quest. And then just the creatures themselves and what they can do. Medusa. I've been a sucker for Medusa since middle school, and what she can do. And then you get a little bit of backstories, and I gotta go Clash of the Titans.
All right, Kill. How about you?
You know what? Both of these have imagination. One just has way more imagination. I gotta go with Clash. A metal flying robotic owl.
I don't
A
know
horse
that.
with wings, a
A
kraken,
unicorn.
Calibus,
That's-
like a half beast man,
He was
whatever.
Beast Man before Beast Man and He Man, right?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, that Medusa fight, like that's savage. That's not a pretty Medusa. That's not even like a humanoid type one. That's straight up a serpent lady that
Blood
is
turning
trying
into
to
scorpions.
kill everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sorry, on the other side, I got Tim Curry. I got Tim Curry, and I got some unicorns for like 5 minutes. Like,
And you got
5 minutes.
elves and goblins and dwarves, not just,
There's more than
When I got
that.
unicorns for 5 minutes.
You that's so lame. You're going with something that's been written for how long? How imaginative is that? Versus
Yeah, but
someone
we
who's creating the Lord of
Hey.
Darkness,
but we just
all
gotta go
these
with what we
characters,
got.
the story. Exactly, but I'm giving it to
Yeah.
Legend. That's
Oh,
all
well, I didn't even
bullshit.
get to you
I
yet.
figured.
Okay.
Well, I'm telling you right now.
All right. Wow. For me, I think both movies have imagination. Danielle was saying Legend for imagination. Clash was more simplistic compared to Legend's creativeness. I think that it's kind of tough because, well, actually, this is interesting. Jamie saying, I don't think either of them are uniquely imaginative, though that's true too. I mean, everything's based on something before, you know what I mean? Different
Yeah.
stories and so forth. She's saying they're both based in folklore, but if I have to choose, I have to go with Clash based on difficulty of special effects for the time. Interesting. Well said. For me, it's challenging because I think both movies have great imagination. But that being said, I think it's almost a little bit of a coin toss in a way, but I have to go with Clash on this because with Legend, here's the thing. Pretty much almost all the things that Legend does, Clash does, plus more. You know what I'm saying? We've got magic, we've got magical creatures, we've got a hero, we've got a princess, we've got a big villain. We've got the secondary villains and stuff like that, whether you're talking about Meg or Calibus and so forth.
Yeah, but
I
how
just
many
think
times have you heard this, right? This story or the mythology of all this,
You
right?
mean the devil, the big red guy with
No,
horns?
dude. There's many evil figures. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. All I'm saying is, I'm sorry, for imagination, for me, I mean, no doubt. Does it have to go to friggin' Legend? Because Clash, you got everything right there. You could open a book. Oh, here's my movie. Maybe not word for word, but there you go.
but we
So,
can't base it on that though. We're just going movie versus movie though. There's always going to
well,
be
I'm
there's
thinking
always going
of
to
no. You gotta think
one or
of
the other.
what brought forth this imagination and thought brought forth Legend, books and all that shit brought Clash.
That's
So
true, but that Legend was inspired by all those old stories, adventure stories, King Arthur, things like Greek mythology, Star
this is more
Wars.
The
this is
Bible.
more like the Bible. Exactly, it's with the devil. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
All
Lord of
right.
But anyway,
All right. Okay. So next category.
you three are crazy.
Whoa. I voted for Legend more than the other two guys. What do you mean you three?
Yeah, but I mean, in that past
Not enough, Eric.
category, you're crazy. Crazy.
All right. So listen.
Wow. Okay, I remember
Here's the
that.
question.
During the
Eric.
choose category.
Here's the question. Who gets the point? Is it Princess Andromeda or Princess Lily?
I don't really give a shit about either one of them, to be honest. I'm going to flip a coin, and the reason why I'm doing this is because as much as I don't really care about them, I guess Lily leaves more of an impact for me because I've seen Legend more, and this is my first time watching Clash. So I'm going to give it to her. Cop-out answer or not, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Kill. How about you?
Okay, so I've been waiting for this one.
Yeah, I know.
One of these characters is a piece of trash, and the other one is not. You got Adam and Eve over here, and Adam told her, hey, the one thing don't touch the goddamn unicorns. The world is going to go to shit. And what does Lily do? Lily ain't listening to nothing. Lily's like, I'm gonna just do me. I'm gonna touch that unicorn, and then after I touch it, and the world starts to go to crap, I'm gonna throw a ring into a lake that's gonna freeze and almost kill you, Tom, just because I want you to prove that you love me. Lily is trash. All right.
In her defense, it wasn't her that freaked out the unicorn. It was the dark.
Exactly.
Right.
And not only that, but she just
but-
came out and the unicorn went to her.
Okay, but Tom also said, I'm sorry, Jack also said,
Mhm.
don't do it.
True.
Don't do it. And she's
True.
like, what?
Humans
I
are
wanna
forbidden
hear
to
you.
do that.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. Now, granted, she is in the story more than Princess Andromeda, but I'm going for Andromeda because she, essentially, she shows that she kind of, wants to do her own thing too, with like the scene where she said,
Right.
"Well, we're gonna go with you, Paris.
Yes.
and you can't really tell me anything because I'm
We're not married yet.
yeah. You're not married to me yet." And then
I
also
did
the
like
stuff
that.
where Calibus was like stealing her soul at night and making her do
Mm.
the riddles, and she's like, "Look, man, you fumbled the bag, Calibus." Yeah. So I'm sorry, Lily caused a lot of this drama, and then was getting tempted by by the Lord of Darkness and his bling.
It's the voice. It's like Sam Elliott. Some women just love that deep voice. They can't help it.
Go. So yeah, I gotta go with Princess Andromeda.
I don't know. Sam Elliott's
right,
kind of
there we go.
too Southern,
All right. Coriander, who's getting the point? Lily or Andromeda?
I mean,
Come on with it.
Killian, you did her dirty. You did her dirty. The devil, Lord Darkness
Devil
saw
made us
her
do it.
as pure and light also,
Mhm.
just like these
Innocent.
unicorns. And for her to go out there, I don't think, that was too terrible. Because, like I said, that unicorn came up to her, so just because she wanted a better look at it, it's not like she went, hey, come here. I got a, a carrot and an apple.
Yep.
She didn't have any of that shit. And
Uh,
she dealt with more. She dealt with a lot more than I think. People transport sometimes when they sleep. Big deal. She came back to her body.
Big deal. Your soul goes to the Lord of the Swamps.
No, she
Get
was
over
supposed to marry this dude. So
Right.
if it was like a complete stranger and some friggin' scary looking, rat dude that was trying to do whatever he wanted to do, but this was supposed to be someone she was gonna marry. So
Right.
no.
All right.
So
you're
anyway, I gotta give it to Lily.
okay. All right.
Okay.
To me, this is an interesting one because both characters have parallels, right? They're both princesses. They both have, their moments where they're doing some stuff. Kill, you reference Andromeda. That was the scene I was thinking of too. Like she's ready to go to action. She went on the quest, as far as she could go before Perseus said, "Nope, see you tomorrow morning. Bye." So that was cool though. I did like the fact because in a lot of these stories, there's sometimes where the princess doesn't get a chance to do much. You know what I'm saying? And I thought it was pretty cool. And like you said, also the whole idea of the riddles, another one of those legends that they showed in the film, which was cool. Lily, on the other hand, the pure innocence and obviously making that mistake and then trying to save the unicorn, trying to face darkness head on. And of course, that didn't necessarily work. This is actually really tough to me. It really is. And and although Kill, you're saying Lily is trash, I think I'm gonna have to give the point to Lily, just solely on the fact that there's a lot of back and forth with her character as far as making that big mistake, which really sucked, and then trying to make up for it, and then being a prisoner, and then kind of trying to get out of it before she, because she didn't know that Jack and the crew were coming to save her. She was trying to get out of it herself, and at the end was going to save the unicorn and possibly sacrifice herself. So I'm going to edge it out to Lily for this one, but it's close for me. It's really close because I thought Andromeda was really cool too.
All I'll say is Andromeda's only mistake is being perfect.
Ooh, chica.
She is
Oh.
perfect and beautiful, and the female goddesses are jealous of her.
They are. They
Like,
are, man.
straight
You're right.
jealous.
That's why she became a constellation.
And and most men were jealous of her friggin' what's that dude's name?
Perseus.
Alibus?
Well, the one who was saving her. What's his name? Hamlin there. Harry Hamlin.
Perseus.
Yeah. So there you
Um,
go. You had two pretties, you know.
Yeah. Jamie's saying Andromeda's situation is not her own doing. Lily made a Pandora-like mistake by approaching the unicorn. She did herself in with the ignorance. I have to go with Andromeda. All right. Okay. Scott's going with Lily. And Scott saying got to bounce. We'll catch the replay. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you being here and hope you enjoyed it. All right. Next category. Which film is the better adventure? Which film is the better adventure? Eric, who gets the point?
If we're going adventure, as much as I love Legends and I love Legend, I'm going with Clash just because, in my opinion, there's more to it. Okay? There's more to it. There's more monsters that Perseus is fighting. Jack fights darkness, and he fights Meg Mucklebones, and that's really pretty much it. If we're talking adventures, Perseus is going from island to island. He's flying on a Pegasus. You know what I mean? That's adventure just by itself. Defeating these monsters and like Medusa and giant scorpions. And if we're saying a better adventure, I have to give it to Perseus.
Okay. All right. Kill, how about you?
Look, Perseus has a helmet that he uses like the One Ring to go invisible.
He said the One Ring.
He has a sword created by the gods, a shield by the gods, a robotic owl by the gods, a flying horse sent from the gods. He's fighting half beast men. He's fighting.
That's true.
Like
him too.
Come, like, what are we doing here? Like, he kills a kraken by using the head of another beast that he slayed on his adventure.
Yeah, Titan versus a Titan.
I gotta go with Clash.
All right. Okay. Coriander, how about you?
Well, obviously I want to give it to Legend, but I can't. So
there's no lying here.
Yeah, there's no bias. Yeah. All right, so you're gonna go with Clash?
Yep.
I was about ready to tell Kill to brace himself. Jeez.
Wow. All right. Okay. For me, I have to agree. It's got to go. It's got to go to Clash, and I think that the idea of one thing after it's like a video game. We keep going up levels. And you get to the final boss. That's basically the idea at hand, and there's just more levels in Clash. Now, I'm not saying that makes it a better adventure, but what I do think it did well was it was a lot of mystery. Or what can he do now? What does he have to do now, and how is he going to do it? There was always this sense of like, how is he going to get out of this? Because both of these characters are they're just men, right? They're not coming in like John Wick and just taking out everybody effortlessly. They get beat up, they get hurt and so forth. So that's the other thing that's a really cool parallel between both films. All right, real quick, Jamie saying Clash has the edge on adventure. All right, Paula is going with Legend. Let's see, Danielle saying better adventure. This one is tough. Both were great, but I prefer Clash's grittiness. Legend is great too, but too polished, I guess. All right. Okay. We got David in the chat. What's going on, David? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And by the way, if you guys haven't hit the like button, please do. It helps to support the stream, and we'd appreciate it. Next category. You could be, Eric. You could be. And in this category, basically, meaning that you could be in either of these situations, either of these worlds and so forth. Which world do you pick and why?
I'm going to pick Legend.
Okay.
It's more safer. I don't want to piss off a god or something like that and turn into, Beast from the X-Men or whatever he looks like.
Right.
But
Yeah, that was good.
I just, I've always been a sucker for, these type of, adventures. The guy from the forest falls for the girl type of thing. I've always loved, like, this feels like more Lord of the Rings to me as well.
Mhm.
With the goblins and elves and dwarves and fairies and stuff like that. So, um, I think this might be again another cop out answer. I think Legend would be more fun and safe. So, if I was in both worlds or in either world, so I'm going with Legend.
All right. Okay. Kill. How about you?
I'm gonna look at this in a different way. I'm gonna
Mhm.
choose Clash of the Titans because I'm a demigod. My dad is Zeus.
I got
Who
backup.
yeah, well, not just that. I mean, who knows what powers I have? I mean, like look at
Yeah.
Hercules. If your dad is a god, and not just any god, the king
Yeah.
of the gods,
Yeah.
I think you'll be all right in this world. Not only that, now you're also the emperor of this kingdom. You got an army.
Yeah.
You're a demigod with an army and a beautiful woman who won't touch unicorns. I gotta go with Clash.
Said he won't touch unicorns. All right, man. Coriander, how about you?
So what the hell? What is this? You could be what?
Wow. Basically, you could be in either of these worlds, as the character, whether
Uh,
it's Jack or Lily, or obviously Andromeda or Perseus. Like, which
Hell no.
movie would
I
you
don't
pick?
think I want to be in Clash's world because you got gods that can take your little wooden figure and crush you, and
Mm-hmm.
then you
Mhm.
got, towns being wiped out, and there goes the civilization of, these goons. And yeah, I would rather take my chance, and I think I'd have a better chance in Legend than, you know, surviving back in those days. Yeah.
Okay, all right. For me, I think both of these worlds can be interesting. There's cool stuff in both of these worlds, but Killian made a great point, man. You literally could be a demigod versus a forest guy, and I'm pretty sure the demigod has better situation. So I'm going to pick Clash of the Titans. And
So
and I
wait,
think
you're saying and you pick a character that you'd want to be?
well, you'd be in the world as either Jack or obviously Lily for you, or you could be Jack. You get
What?
what I'm
What do
saying.
you
You could
mean? Why couldn't I
you
be like fucking some dude if I wanted to be? Why'd you
you
say
could.
Lily?
Well, I'm saying you
You
could be Jack
know,
or Lily because I'm putting you in the
Or the
in the
owl.
shoes of the. I'm putting you in the shoes of
like
the characters
if I
themselves.
was gonna pick a character, I would be the goddamn golden owl, not no fucking, god.
All right, well, fine. Look, man,
Just
let me finish.
saying.
You already said your thing. So look, so I'm going. I think with Clash, it's pretty cool though because, like you said, you have a whole kingdom that you're basically able to run. You've got the backing of the father of the gods and all of that. So I definitely would
Burgess
pick Clash.
Meredith is still there for you, giving
You
the
get
advice.
helping you out like he did with Rocky. I love it. All right, next. Oh man. Let's go. Let's go. Next category. Calibus or darkness, Eric? Who gets
Come
the
on,
point?
darkness. End of
All
story.
right. All right. All right. Kill, how about you?
This is easy street. Darkness. I mean, Calibus. He liked to sit in his throne in the swamp and call her soul to come and give her little messages and riddles. But
Mhm.
darkness is just imposing. Darkness
Mhm.
is
Right.
like, oh, who is this boy? Let me get this giant sword and
Right.
kill you. And on top of that, he didn't die.
Right.
Nope.
Right.
So yeah, if
Yep.
you do exist in that world, if you choose that legend world, you didn't kill the bad guy.
That's a good point. Evil
So
still
yeah,
lurks.
Yeah, but you
darkness
still
is
got an angry god up there, on Olympus too.
and you
So
got your daddy.
yeah, well, your daddy could also be busy with one of his 100 girlfriends when she does what she needs to do.
True.
That's a good
Mm.
point. All right. Good point. All right. Coriander. Obviously, I know you're gonna go with darkness.
Yeah,
Right.
Calibus, he's the rat dude, right?
Beastman, rat dude. Wow.
Yeah.
What did you say about him? Because when we watched the movie, you made a really good point about him, like a reminder of when you had seen it when you were younger.
His character creeped me out. He
Right?
was,
He did.
he did, but he's, he reminds me of like a big rat boy now. Like I can see why the goblin creeped me out, but when I look back at, you know, Clash has its charm because you gotta love the special effects.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
all I gotta say is, yeah, it's
Mhm.
just funny to see, you know, I don't know. But anyway, the whole point is, yeah, darkness definitely.
All
So
right. It's definitely got to go to darkness. There's no doubt about that because he is the ultimate bad, and Calibus was basically the runner up bad in Clash. But that being said, again, and like Rihanna was saying about when we were watching it, again, shout out to Calibus, Neil McCarthy, the presence, the charisma in his voice. And obviously being underneath of that makeup and still, projecting, just like Tim Curry, of course. But I'm just saying, I want to give a little shout out to Calibus because he was a really interesting character. And as soon as I heard him talking, it like brought me back. I was like, oh yeah, that guy,
no, no,
because his voice
he was
is
kind
so
of a bitch
recognizable.
though too. Mommy, help me, mommy.
I demand justice. And she's like,
Police these
justice or
people.
revenge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
nah, he's just a little
Right.
bitch that can't do it on
All
his own.
right. You just listen. You're just trying to listen. We're supposed to be unbiased here.
Hey, but he
Relax.
had them
I'm just
rings. He had the
saying.
bling.
He did have the bling. He did. Okay. Next up, Eric, Perseus or Jack?
Yeah. Since we're picking characters, and not, because I'm a sucker for Tom Cruise. Tom almost always wins. But if we're going characters, I'm going with Perseus, just because his hero's journey to me was more epic and dangerous.
Okay.
They're both doing it for love, no matter the situation, the love of a woman or rescuing a woman. But I just think Perseus, plus, he's got cooler weapons other than a sword. Jack has a couple elves and a fairy. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. Kill, how about you?
You know, for me, I have to go with Perseus for a few reasons. I don't learn too much about Jack. I don't really learn too much about him, and a lot of his stuff is just convenient. And when I say it's convenient, it's like, oh, Gump's like, oh, you need a sword and you need some armor that's way too baggy for you. Hey, I know where we can get that. And then, he gets it. Now, Perseus stuff is convenient because his dad is like, hey, make this for my son. You make this. Hey, give him your owl. That's very convenient as well. But keep in mind also, Perseus is chilling in Jamaica. He goes to take a nap, and then he gets teleported to the amphitheater. Essentially to danger because
Right.
other gods are jealous. And he made a vow to his mom on her deathbed that, hey, one day I will reclaim our lineage, our throne.
Mm-hmm.
And he just went through trial after trial and also fell in love. And so guessing riddles and all this other stuff and becoming a general and emperor and yeah, Perseus.
All right. Okay. Coriander, how about you?
Hmm. Well, Perseus did do a lot more than Jack, but he also had a lot of help too. With his helmet and all that shit. Shit. But yeah, I'm gonna still give it to Perseus. So yeah.
Okay. All right. For me, I think, these characters, again, just like pretty much everything else, there's a lot of parallels and similarities. And these characters do have some similarities, but the big difference to me was, Jack in this situation he was kind of a part of what was going on. Obviously he wanted to save Lily, but like you were saying, Kill, you've got Gump, you've got the dwarves, you got Una that were kind of like just kind of carrying some of that weight too. And Perseus was on this quest, like you said, he made that promise to his mother, and he wanted to reclaim, his throne and lineage and so forth. So in that sense, I think I'm going to give the point to Perseus because of the fact that as a hero, the prototypical definition of a hero, it felt like he was that. You know what I mean? Like if I look in the dictionary, I'm going to see him before I see Jack. Not that Jack wasn't a hero, because he had to be pure of heart and so forth, and that's how he was able to do what he was able to do, which was great. But like you guys said as well, and Coriander just said, Perseus had to do more, had to go through more, and ultimately, even though he had help from the gods, Zeus didn't help him with Medusa.
Right.
That could have been game over easily.
Zeus gave him the tools. Perseus had to use them properly.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Perseus on that one. Okay. All right. Jamie saying she's going with Perseus. Jack's a simp.
I mean,
yeah.
Wow.
Danielle saying she's going with Perseus. Kay is going with Perseus. All right. Next category, Eric, the finale. Who gets the point?
Okay. I'm going with Legend, and here's why. I think both of the final battles are really good. With Perseus versus the Kraken and Jack versus Darkness. But I think that fight between Jack and Darkness is much better because, no offense, Perseus just holds, it gets knocked out of his hand, but he holds it up. Medusa's head does its thing, and that's it. You have Darkness. He's probably 7, 8, 9, 10 feet tall, like hoofing it after Jack. Sword fighting. He's getting shot with arrows. This is where Jack has to use his team to get the light. There's more to it. And honestly, even when both villains are defeated, however you want to say, with the Kraken, I also, when you have the happy endings, I think Legend is more, and in a fantasy element, more of a better happy ending. Perseus and Andromeda, they get married, they become constellations. Hooray. We have the unicorn gets its horn back. We have a great song, pure 80s. We have them running away to the forest, which is also pure 80s, but we get that goodbye with his group, and there's more to it instead of just them laying in bed, and we get the credits.
Hey, look, Eric's like, screw constellations. How important are they? He's like, your constellation, yay. All right, man, that was good. Kill, how about you?
You know what? I kind of agree with Eric. Like the final fight, it's tight corridors, and you're fighting against a demon that's 10 feet tall with a giant Conan sword, and you're Tom Cruise. You're that version of Tom Cruise, not Tom who runs and chops wind,
the fastest runner of all time,
secret agent on the planet. No. This is young Tom,
and Tom's still only 5'2". You know what I mean?
True. But I agree. Like the ending in Clash, although I like it does kind of wrap itself up. Very kind of neat. And kind of easy, but it's earned because he went through all of the stuff mid-movie, so that hey, I got the Thanos glove now. I'm just gonna hold it up, and I'm gonna kill the Kraken because I went through hell earlier. Whereas Tom is going through hell at the end, and he doesn't actually beat Darkness. So I got to go with the finale of Legend.
All right, you keep saying that they didn't beat Darkness.
Hey, you see Tim Curry one last time, and he's laughing like, you realize who I am, what I am.
You know nothing. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Exactly.
All right. So Coriander, how about you? Who gets the point for finale?
Yeah, not much really happened, like Eric said, in Clash. He gets knocked off Pegasus, and then he, swims, he gets the head, and the trusted little golden owl gets him the head, and there you go. Happy ending. And yeah, with friggin' Legend, you've got, you didn't have he had help from his friends, but he didn't have like help from the gods. So that's like
Mhm.
huge. There's a big difference there. And I mean, how do I have to give it to obviously Legend. It's just a better, you know, finale for me.
Okay. All right. For me, I enjoy both finales and Kill. You said it really well too. Clash. The lead up to it is just it's like climbing a mountain. So when you get to the end and he got, like you said, the Thanos glove, you knew that he was gonna figure this thing out, which was cool. It's a great way to lead into a finale because you've got all the excitement leading up to that. But that being said, the thing about Legend is that ending, that last final fight was the big, explosion. And there was more going on because, again, Jack had to face darkness alone. You didn't know exactly what was going to happen. Plus, Eric, you made a good point, too. The ending of it, once that was done, almost that fairy tale,
Mhm.
fantasy type of ending, it definitely seemed like it was prototypical, and go back to that type of wording. So I got to give the point to Legend as well because I think the way it wrapped up, it was just really cool. I mean, Clash was great because everyone's clapping and throwing their popcorn up and all of that, and that was cool. Even Boobo. Boobo had a moment where he looked at the camera and smiled. He was like, "Yeah," So that was cool. But I think Legend overall kind of, when you think about a fantasy, a fairy tale, a story that you read, it kind of just, it wrapped it up really nice. And of course, like you said, Kill, freaking Tim Curry, man, he always finds a way. He's sitting there just laughing. It's like he's laughing, pointing at you like he did as Pennywise, like, you
Mhm.
bitches.
Yeah.
So it was great. It was a great ending. It would have been great to have seen that character come back and have
Mhm.
another story, but that's a whole nother conversation. So, anyways, point going to Legend. Real quick, too, in the chat. Danielle saying Clash gets my point because in the end, it's the one I rewatch. Okay. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? Jamie says she's going with Legend. I've got nothing sassy to say here.
Wow.
Okay. There you go. Kay's going with Legend. Um, okay. Yeah. I thought maybe Clash, but Legend. Okay. Very, very cool. All right. Next category. The choose category. And as always, this will be our last category. If anyone wants to put any points to a film, this is the final chance to do it. After this category, we won't be able to put points to the movie. And so we'll go through this category. And then when it's done, we will then tally up our points on the panel. And Elm Street also going with Legend on that. Thanks so much, man. Much appreciated. Okay, so the choose category. Let's start it now. Eric, who gets the point and why?
I'm 100% going to Legend. Um, Again, I like I said in previous categories, it could be because this is also the first time I've seen Clash,
Mm-hmm.
from beginning to end in over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen Legend, I couldn't tell you dozens of times. For me, it's more fun. Again, I really like the dark, scary stuff. I love the score. For me, it is not perfect, but it's a pretty darn good fantasy film. So I'm going
Mm-hmm.
Legend.
All right, Kill. How about you?
I have to go Clash of the Titans. It's funny for me. I haven't seen either of these in a while,
Mm-hmm.
and even though someone could say that the special effects of Clash are dated, they have a
Mm-hmm.
charm, and to
Mm.
me, Clash
Ray
still
Harryhausen.
holds. Yeah, yes, shots out. But Clash of the Titans, it's mythology, which is eternal. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, it still holds up. When I watched Legend, I was kind of like, all right, what's going on with this? It's like not a lot of talking, a lot of just looking at each other, and it's very
Mm.
quiet, especially at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it just felt a little disjointed, and it felt like I was watching a very pretty music video.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Mm,
And I guess in my mind, I remember it being something else, but
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
now, post The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, you name it, all the mythology and fantasy stuff that we have. I was kind of looking at this and just kind of like, this just seems like it's missing some things, and it could be this cut, you know, because there
Right.
are multiple cuts of it.
Right.
But it just didn't hold up as well as my memory had it from the past.
Mhm.
The Lord of Darkness held up because
Mhm.
he is a standout for me and is my favorite character of it. But some of the other characters, like Lily, I'm just kind of looking at the machinations of them and the plot devices, and it kind of got me a little like, So yeah, I got to go Clash on this one, because even though those special effects may look dated, it still holds up with the mythology in that story. You know, archetypal hero and the hero's journey.
All right. Okay. Coriander, how about you?
Um, they're both really good. I enjoy them both.
Mhm.
They're both from, like you said, from our childhood, and you know, but I am gonna choose Legend just because I'm a sucker for a great love story, and you got Tim Curry who plays an awesome devil who, if they ever did do a remake of this or did a part two, the
Mhm.
dude who played the devil with Jack Black there, what the hell's his name? The singer of come on. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Tenacious D.
Dave Grohl played the devil in
Yes,
a music
Oh
video.
yeah.
Yeah.
yes, yes. Tenacious D.
Hmm.
He would be the perfect devil in this
Mhm.
movie.
Okay. All right.
But anyway, yeah.
Okay. For me, both of these movies are really good. I think that, and me and Coriander were talking about this too. One thing that's kind of a sad thing, and it's true, it's even true even online. I mean, things like these movies, they've kind of faded, quite a bit. When we were growing up, we had a lot of this type of stuff, whether it was this, Conan, Hercules, and the list goes on and on and on. And now, to think that especially the younger generation may not know, a lot of these stories and mythology and things of lore, it kind of made me a little, it took me back a little bit. I was a little sad about that because, growing up, we always had this stuff, you know,
Hmm.
and obviously tonight, these are two movies that most people either don't know or haven't seen in a long time, and we can see that even here in the live chat, which is, it's kind of a sad thing, because I think that these movies ultimately, there's so much creativity to them, so much imagination. It takes you into a whole new world, a different world, a world that's old as well. And so anyways, both films did a great job with that. Both films had great effects for their time. They made choices with those effects, whether you have the great Rob Bottin in Legend or
Hmm.
obviously Ray Harryhausen for Clash of the Titans. All that being said, I'm going to give the point to Clash of the Titans because since I was a little kid, I can't even tell you how many times I've seen this movie, and it's just embedded in me. Me and Kill and our cousins would watch this type of shit all the time. Um, and it's just one of those things that was able to take all those legends and stories and put them in one film, and it worked. It really worked.
Hmm.
Legend is great too, and I think someone in the chat, I think Jamie said, it's a gorgeous movie, and it is. I mean, it's a Ridley Scott movie,
Yeah.
so you're gonna get that, and it is gorgeous, and it's a nice fantasy film, and it ends really well, which is why I gave it the point for finale. But overall, I gotta edge it to Clash just because of that sense of the hero's journey. I think is a little bit better done, and the whole idea of the gods and their machinations and so forth. So I got to give the point to Clash of the Titans on that one. But they're both fantastic. Okay. And Paul is like, save Legend. No, nobody's saving Legend tonight, it looks like, Paula. Elm Street saying Legend for the win. We will see. We will see. Kay is going with Clash of the Titans. Danielle going with Clash. Same reason as before. In the end, it's the one I rewatch. Jamie saying Legend. It's gorgeous, has a palpable atmosphere. To me, it's the epitome of fantasy and fairy tales. Well said. Well said. Okay, guys, we're going to count up the points. Let's do a little bit of a recap. this has been a fun episode. It
Mhm.
really has. I like doing these types of streams because it's something a little bit different, and a lot of times it takes me back to my childhood in a different way than even talking about like 80s slashers. This
Mhm.
is a little bit different feeling for me. So very cool, and a good choice, Coriander. Good choice.
Mhm.
So let's do a recap. Yeah, you're welcome. Let's do a recap, Eric, and I'm going to count up these points.
Yeah, you said it great. This was a good choice because I always look forward. Now, I love my horror, but I always look more forward to these type of battle worlds because it's a palate cleanser. You know what I mean? You need that, and I'm happy these two were chosen because I'm gonna say I've never seen Clash. Bits and pieces 20 years ago in high school, that doesn't count. You know what I mean? This is the first time watching, and I really did enjoy it. Again, I was a sucker for Greek mythology growing up. Ray Harryhausen, the man is a legend for a reason, and this was his
Mhm.
last film to work on, to my knowledge, and
Mhm.
he went out with a bang. He was fantastic, and people can say it's dated 1981. Well, look, you got to take into account when it was. Like, look at King Kong, from the 30s. It's also
Mhm.
pretty damn dated, but it's also for its time groundbreaking. But Legend, that's a huge part of my childhood. That's the one I could rewatch as many times as possible. It was a staple of my childhood, more so than like Labyrinth or any of these other type of fantasy films. And it's for me, it's kind of sad because it's kind of a forgotten Ridley Scott film. We always focus
Mhm.
on Blade Runner. We always focus on Aliens or Alien, excuse me, or other things like Black Hawk Down and Gladiator. The man can
Right.
do sci-fi horror. He can do action, but he can also do a really good fantasy film. So,
For me, I grew up watching these movies, and I just like Night. I've watched Clash of the Titans. I can't even count how many times. And when that came out and we saw it, it sparked my imagination. It wanted me to
Mhm.
learn more about Greek mythology. And
Mhm.
if a movie can do that, it's definitely doing the right thing. For me, when I think back to Legend, and I mean no disrespect to this, I think back to some of those other movies that were of the same ilk, like Labyrinth, like Never Ending Story, like Legend, which are all great, but Clash to me just stood out because it combined all of those sub stories of mythology. You had the gods, and it's kind of like having your cake and eating it too, because it had everything in there. And then
Mhm.
on top of that, essentially, people who have made video games have kind of sat back and said, oh, hey, let's make Zelda and let's do God of War. Because essentially, God of War is Clash of the Titans, where they just throw all the
Right.
mythology in there, and it's just a beautiful gumbo. And then over here is straight up the Legend of Zelda. They're both great, but different tastes. But they're both great movies. And guys, if you haven't watched these in a while, don't worry about the remake of Clash of Titans. Night might tell you something different. They suck.
What?
You just need to watch this one.
Wait a second.
wow, really?
You
Okay.
love your boy from
Lashif.
Avatar. No,
Lashif is in there
no.
too, man.
The main guy that Hollywood was
Oh,
trying to
Sam
push.
Worthington.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
We tried with him and it just didn't work out.
And
It
Liam
was all
Neeson. I love Liam, but you're not Zeus. Come on now.
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. But
that'll be
okay.
a nice conversation for another day. All right, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. Coriander, any final thoughts?
No, man. Who's the
Okay,
winner?
man. Real quick in the chat, these guys are going on both sides. Jamie saying putting these two movies against each other makes so much sense. They're similar but also unique. It made for a
Mhm.
perfect battle. Well, Jamie, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Seriously. We're really happy for you guys that did decide to come and hang out with us. That means a lot. Seriously. Danielle saying Greek mythology versus folklore, grittiness versus visual vibrant, similarities and differences. Yes, 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 yes. And she's a fan of the Clash reboot. There you go. All right. This is well, it's not the first time that this has happened, but
Oh.
we have, and I had to count this a few times here. we have a score of 30 points to 30 points. It is a
What?
tie.
What?
It
Oh,
is a
wow.
tie right down the middle. And this is what we're going to do. Because we're tied down the middle too on the choose category, so obviously it probably would go the same way. You know, as far as if we try to break the tie, and we have a small chat tonight. So what we're going to do instead, we're going to spin the wheel. We're going to leave it to chance.
All
That's how we're
right.
going. That's how we're
That's
going to
fair.
find out
In the
It goes
who
50
wins.
50.
Yep, we're going to Thunderdome, baby. All right. So we have the wheel. 30 points to 30 points, man. That's crazy.
I honestly, I thought Clash was much further ahead than it
I
was.
thought so too, man.
honest.
But you know, it kind of went back and forth, and then there were categories where both films would get all of the panel votes, and it just went back and forth. So this is absolutely this is cool though. This is really, really cool. So we got 30 to 30. We're going to spin this wheel. We're going to see what happens. We obviously have Clash versus Legend. Okay, guys, let's do this thing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see who wins the spin.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
The
There
fix
it
is in.
Not like
There it is. Hey, you know what that means, Kill?
What does that mean?
You know what that means? This is what it means.
Oh, no.
Release the Kraken.
There it is.
Wait a second. Did you just have that keyed up to talk?
he did. He did.
So for Legend,
What?
did you also have something keyed up for Legend in case that one? No.
Of course not.
I did have some. I did have some.
Oh,
That's
okay.
Red
so-
dude wins. It's okay.
So look, man, the wheel said it. It is what it
Mhm.
is, and we've got a winner.
Ooh,
And
bullshit.
it was all on chance. The winner, Harry Hamlin, comes through. Harry Hamlin and Bubo. There it is.
There you go.
There it is. Release the
Damn-o.
Kraken. This was great. This was great. These
Mhm.
guys in the chat, Paula was going with Legend the whole time. If I had said which movie is the better Greek mythology movie, she would have said Legend.
Legend.
Yeah.
There it is.
I respect it though.
I do too. That's great. Danielle is happy that Clash won. It was actually down the middle in the chat too. So Clash of the Titans pulled it out. There it is. And who knows? Maybe Zeus was trying to do something with the wheel there. Anyways,
Zeus was the wheel. He could become whatever he wants.
Let
If
me
he could
just
be
say
if he could be Golden Rain to impregnate somebody, he could be a wheel on YouTube. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. Let me just say this though, but seriously, this was a lot of fun, guys, and
Mhm.
you said it well too, Eric. You know, doing episodes like this is fun because it's a little bit different. You know what I'm
You
saying?
need
Actually, a lot different. We do
Mhm.
need it. I mean, and again, and I always say this to the live chat and to our community. You know, I'm always hopeful that people, you know, open their minds to things other than horror. And you
Mhm.
know, it is what it is. But I think all of us, we have fun with these discussions because we all kind of have a similar way that we came up as far as watching all types of movies and loving all types of movies and being able to talk about them. So this was fun. Coriander, this was a great choice. I
Mhm.
really appreciate it.
Mhm.
It brought me back to my childhood. As we
Nice.
get ready, huh?
I said nice.
Yeah. As we get ready to head on out, Denisha's jumping in. Hey, Denisha, good to
There
have
she
you.
is.
We're about to head on out, but thank you for jumping in. Again, if you guys haven't hit the like button, we'd appreciate it if you do hit it. It would help to support this stream and hopefully get it out to others that might enjoy talking about 80s fantasy like we did. And yeah, we will catch you guys next time. Have a good night. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace.
Cheers.
Peace.
Up church.